Namo manjo shiri ye, namo so shiri ye, namo shiri ye so ha. Namo manjo shiri ye, namo so shiri ye, namo shiri ye so ha. Namo manjo shiri ye, namo so shiri ye, namo shiri ye so ha. Ye che dang zu ge chu na la, jang chu ban du dan de ge su chi, da ge chu nian ji be co na gi, ro la ben che sang ge du ba zhu. Che dang zu ge chu na la, jang chu ban du dan de ge su chi, da ge chu nian ji be co na gi, ro la ben che sang ge du ba zhu. Che dang zu ge chu na la, jang chu ban du dan de ge su chi, da ge chu nian ji be co na gi, ro la ben che sang ge du ba zhu. Ge shu shi me do zhang, ge ra ling shi ni de gen ba de, sang ji xin do mi de wu wa ye, zhou ge na da xin la zhu ba zhu. Gu ru ran na men da la gang li ya da ya mi. This is just your sitting posture according to the 7 meditative postures of Varichana. Think, all sentient beings have been my mothers. All sentient beings have been my mothers, not just once, but numberless times. All sentient beings are as kind as my mother in this life. Even though all kind mothers sentient beings want happiness and do not want even a small suffering, due to mistakenly engaging with objects of adoptions and abandonment, they do not experience any happiness but suffering. In our mind, sincerely cultivate loving kindness towards all kind mother sentient beings by thinking, how nice it would be if all kind mother sentient beings were to have excellent happiness and the causes of excellent happiness that are virtues. May they have excellent happiness and its causes. I will cause them to have excellent happiness and its causes. Lama deity, please bless me to be able to do so. Next, we cultivate compassion towards all suffering mother sentient beings by thinking, how nice it would be if all sentient beings were free from all suffering and the causes of suffering that are non-virtues. May they be free from all suffering and its causes. I will cause them to be free from all suffering and its causes. Lama deity, please bless me to be able to do so. Next, we cultivate bodhicitta. First, we ask ourselves, who should take the responsibility to free all other sentient beings from the sufferings of samsara and lower realms? I should take the responsibility. Even though I should take the responsibility, I do not have the ability to place them in the state of perfect, complete enlightenment now. Who has such ability? Those perfect, complete Buddhas have the abilities to do so. Therefore, for the sake of all mother sentient beings, by all means, I will achieve the precious state of enlightenment.
那这就是到我的上，你记得他的刚要么这个上去这个动啊，你啥都是根本的去生的。
Next, we meditate on the meaning of emptiness for a short while. The self and the aggregates neither exist as inherently different nor as inherently and neither exist as inherently one nor as inherently different. Thus is empty of inherent existence.
那第一就是黑世界，他就上就是公法。我第一就是当地去生的，不娘呢，这些都那些世界东西呢，那么几个人，这都是不能解决。
Set a good motivation. For the sake of all mother sentient beings, I will achieve the state of enlightenment. For this, I will listen to the holy teaching and practice properly in order to benefit sentient beings.
那么这唱的别人嘛，应该西北让给呢，主要没有事情多，这是提醒自己，搞点行了，自己把西北让给让心呢，对了，主要没有的，西北让心呢，不应该是，我在说那个题目的学意思。
So to continue where we left off, next outline is it is inappropriate to become angry if this is the nature of the childish. And under this outline is verse 39. It says, even if it were the nature of the childish to cause harm to other beings, it would be inappropriate to be angry with them, for this would be like begrudging fire for having the nature to burn.
那这个等到的看到，的行了，才要写吧，才要写吧的，让到没写的，让到没写写，写着，那你们写起，你们恰当么是写起，那些这样的，那些把那就上写，是吧？上写呢，那得了出没一点，那随便上写，就没了，去允许出去个没的不能找，那随便上写，没得了，那没可能不上写了，那是喇叭就完了，没吃完以后，那是没上写，不能认识，那是随便上写是吧？没拿了喇叭就完了，喇叭吃个是，那是哈过完的是，那可能没可能上写，人都是哈过来些，这得了没些出来个有么多，有那些，最主要的有么的，但西瓜叔叔上的上写的都是，没什么的，但主要是搞呀。
So the meaning of this verse is, even if it were the nature of the childish, who do not understand what is to be adopted and what is to be discarded, or those who, even though they understand these, still have strong afflictions such as attachment and anger to cause harm to other beings, it would be inappropriate to be angry with them, for this would be like begrudging fire for having the nature to burn and getting angry at it. So we all know that the nature of fire is to burn. So if we were to touch the fire, and then definitely it will burn our hand. So while knowing this, then there is no need to get angry at the fire because this is the nature of the fire.
那这个是所以呢，是本命是个等，是说的两个介绍了啊，去了我看完之后呢，那你可惜的先把上面引爆了，那给这些当第三毛了也把是说的两年的哈过去，那没可惜罗汤可没给哈毛后面那就对不上去，已经罗汤多少年，啊，等这个没给这些当你先把上面引爆了，罗汤检查等的，给这些的检查等的心里的理由多。那就所的上戏可能的上戏的哈国先把上班也不行把哈国呢，那可能可能这个么吧，可能就可能上戏先把上班的是，可能给这些当电话的是，可能多当电话的是，你能就电话的是，可能没事了学呀，那是老板拿去了，这里是上戏送上，也可能可能没去了电脑戏，那么就说呢是那些情况的是吧？所以呢，过来是吧？电脑戏是吧？你这里哈国的是，那这里哈国的当没些可能工作人员当然去了，这里给有没得事。
So this is a very a very good advice that relates to our daily life as well. So when we go to office or when we go to many places and we meet many people, and there are people whose nature is good, so they have a good heart and they are kind-hearted. It's just that when they talk, and then they talk in a funny way, and when they move or when they act, and then they act in a funny way. So when we see these, then we shouldn't get angry when they show a funny face or say something funny. So we shouldn't get angry because we know that their nature is good. So they have a good nature or good heart. So there is no need to get angry at their or actions or at their speech. So some of our friends, some of our friends, and then they are like this. So through experience, then we are able through experience, then we are able to understand their nature. So after knowing their nature is like this, then there is no need to get angry. So through knowing the nature of the person, it also helps us to stop anger. Next outline is: it is inappropriate to become angry even if the fault of causing harm is incidental. Under this outline is verse 40. It says, and even if the fault were incidental in sentient beings of definite nature, it would be inappropriate to be angry, for this would be like a begrudging space for allowing smoke to rise in it. So the meaning of this verse is, and even if the faults of harming others were incidental in sentient beings of clever and definite nature. So here the word clever, so is can also be translated as good-hearted, kind-hearted, and etc. So it means that the person's nature is good. So were incidental in sentient beings whose nature is good and of definite nature. So, and definite nature means that the person's nature is good. And clever can also be translated as noble. Then the definite nature can be translated as good nature. So basically here, clever and definite nature, it means noble and kind-hearted, good-hearted. And it will be inappropriate to be angry with the harmer, just as it would be inappropriate to begrudge space for allowing smoke to incidentally rise in it and to get angry. So first, when we know the person's nature is good, and if his faults of harming others is incidental, then there is no need to get angry. And similar to this similar to this example, then there is no need to get angry at the space for allowing smoke to incidentally rise in it. So regarding this space for allowing smoke to incidentally rise in it, so it also shows that the nature of the space is free of smoke. So it's free of smoke, yeah, free of smoke, free of cloud. Then this is related to the teachings of the Tathagata essence. So we also mentioned these about the space. The nature of space is free of clouds, and free of cloud, and then free of smoke as well. And this smoke arise incidentally. So there is no need to get angry at the space for allowing smoke to incidentally arise.
다 되어서 저기 somebody 다 그래서 GBG라 따네 또 좋아하는 거 되는도와 다 바로 몇몇 시고 또 리소시나 또 유발아서 이거지 이 가디 핀발라도나 대야 셰당 기베비 이나 셰당라 조시지 네 쇼로가 지도와
Next outline is, it is inappropriate to be angry after having examined the direct and indirect causes. Under this outline, there is an opinion. It is appropriate to be angry due to harm by others. So in relation to this opinion, is verse 41. It says, if I become angry with the wielder, although I am directly harmed by the stick and so forth, then since he too is incited by hatred, I should be angry with the two or with the hatred.
다디 인디로와 다 가다 바로 몇몇씩 또 초리를 해서 다들 봐 로고로 들이 러바이나 다니스 내절라 초나 유바도 쳐라서 무슨 거기 내가 몇몇씩이 또 대라 좋아리라 하세 당아서 주파션이 세라서 같은 주례지라 고요와 대슈우데 가서배 다 주파시 배수소라 주바이나 다 주파 쇼리 다 간다 무슨 나사 당하기 제들라 군도라고는 다 주파들라 군도라고 무슨라고라 무슨 군도라고나 소스 나사 당사 무슨 다 쇼니 주파 차오라서 주파테 키우는 나고요와 다 같이 내가 신경들 주는 주파들 주고야지 와 다 주파들 주다 이제 따지하고 이제 어디 상황하고 있다고 다 주파들랑 희지는 소소게 중간에서 당을 이렇게 말해 다 주파들 제가 뭐지라 때문에 간다 중요를 해서 양양자 제가 신고와 제가 저리 어떻게 중계돼 그게 강사들 해셔서 그 강사 자신을 보면 퍼레셔서 중계들와 강사 자신들이 도와서 이 주파들 이것은 다 주파들 개념은 나서 따로 그 주파들 서로와 이노 다 양자 제가 저리 주파 신경을 자신해셔서 그 자신들 다 고려서나 자신해서 무슨 양데 디선을 지켜봐 싫어 다 양자 제가 저 어떻게 히딩 원들네 주파 신경에 오늘 전에 저 히딩 레는 제가 저 어디 레는 오늘 이제 중계에 다시 거나 여번 나지 그런 거 집에 공부들해 봤어 내가 그네 공부 시간들해 봤어 와 공부 시간들해 봤어 어떤 오늘 전에 그자 주바디에 레는도 자신이 레는도 간다 수레스나 다시 되게 권이니까 여보 깨내데 제당들해 봤어 그렇게 어떤 오늘 공부서는 제당들을 줘 바로 유무들아 좋아 제당들을 줘 이거래 다들 그래서 이 코로나도 이나 제당을 줘 리셋 저는 들을 줘 이거랬어 제당 다 제당데 자카데 다 자소 이거래서 다들 다들 이제 자소 와서 다 뭐에 자대서 그래 말아 다 무슨 자 서로 담아있는 주바도 작업을 했는데 또는 주바도 말에 주네 자 수리 서로 담아있는 강사 자시서 상담은 제가 저를 자시해야 되는 거지 다 풀로 디디데 다시 그거 되셔 시간 보다 그러나 시간들 좀 무슨 시간도 다 같이 소고 무슨 거다
The meaning of this verse is, so if I were to become angry with the direct harmer, then since I'm directly harmed by the stick, weapon, and so forth, then it is appropriate to be angry with them. So if you want to get angry, so we start to analyze, so the person, the thing that, the harmer that actually directly harms me is the stick and weapon. So if I get angry, so if I were to get angry, then I should get angry at the direct harmer, which is stick, weapon, and so forth. But they did not act to harm in self-power because they are wielded by a being. So then when you analyze that, then you will come to a point that, or the
this stick, weapon, and so forth did not act to harm in self-power. So it means that they did not harm me out of their own power, but they are wielded by a being. So they are being used by an agent. So if I get angry, then I should get angry at the wielder, the agent or the user of the stick. Then since he too is incited by hatred without self-power, if I get angry at the two or at something at all, then I should be angry at the hatred. So then we further our analysis. So whether this person or wielder harms me directly or not, out of his own power or not, then we will come to then when we analyze, then we will realize that this person is too incited by hatred. So he's controlled or he's controlled by the hatred. So this person, the wielder, is also a servant of the hatred. So therefore, if I should get angry, then I should get angry at the hatred. So this is how we identify the actual enemy. Next outline is contemplating others causing me harm as my own fault. Under this outline is verse 42. It says, previously I caused similar harm to sentient beings, therefore it is right for this harm to occur to me, who is the agent of harm to sentient beings. The meaning of this verse is I should be patient, thinking previously, that is, in my past lives and so forth, I caused sentient beings harm, similar to what has occurred to me. So we must understand that if I did not created that actions in the past, I will not experience, it will be impossible for me to experience the result now. So this also indicates that karmic cause and effect is undeceiving or infallible. And therefore it is right for the arisal of such harm to now occur to me, who is the agent of harm to sentient beings. So in my past lives, I've caused sentient beings harm, therefore I'm experiencing the result of it. So then is like in the past, I have borrowed some loan, now I'm paying back my loan. So through thinking in this way, then we will through thinking in this way, then it stops our anger. So because if I did not created the actions in the past, I will not experience the result now. So through thinking in this way, and then it stops anger. Next outline is, It is inappropriate to get angry since the drawback of clinging to this body is the cause of suffering. Under this outline is verse 43. It says, both the weapon and my body are causes of my suffering. Since he gave rise to the weapon and I to the body, with whom should I be angry?
That's also dog linden nika chobi masone perange masone matechi ta duma duma yoda 바로 배쳐다 랑 리닝가 chobi te dunge de chware mato 바로 배쳐 지고대 아레스 세 지고대가 되네 그래서 그 dunge de chware 아레스 와 주모 말이 그 강자대 쳐줘 다 비리 니기 되는 거 도와 주 말이스 그러니까 기라 강시랑 좋아샤 강시 와 바로 마시라 아니 초지기로 했다 초지기로 못했어 다그 리베 하자기 다지 지역을 위대 바로비 세니까 손에 그런 그리라 내리 마서니 내가다 라는 등에 주마로 와 등에 주 있으니까 좋았습니다 바로 마시는 좋아 가기 위해 되레죠.
The meaning of this verse is, furthermore, it is inappropriate to get angry also on account of this reason, because both the other party's weapon and my body are causes of my suffering. So here it talks about it involves both the other party's weapon and my body. So these two come together, then the suffering arises. My experience of suffering arises. Since that person thus gave rise to the weapon and I to the body, so that person gave rise to the weapon and I gave rise to the body, and if both cause my suffering, with whom should I be angry? It is inappropriate to get angry only with the other party. So we must understand that the arisal of my suffering depends on the collections of these two, collections of both, with the weapon used by the other party, a weapon, sword, and etc. used by the other party, and my body as well. So my body is also one of the cause of my suffering. So while knowing that the arisal of sufferings depends on the collections of both the weapon and my own body, so how could it be appropriate for me to get angry only with the other party? Under the same outline, verse 44, it says, if in blind attachment I cling to this suffering abscess of a human form that cannot bear to be touched, with whom should I be angry when he is hurt?
등에 차친 분중에 하장을 소속을 때 내가 현차 정보진이 일이 당했어. 와, 나고서 된디 체인지. 네, 간다. 내가 내가 중앙이나 내 간다. 내가 단집에 내가 하장 된디 무슨 정보이나 내 들이라 내가 간다 초지고 말했어. 와. 된디 내가 초지고 말했어. 된디 간다. 와. 다 하자 시글 해봤으나 다도 리드에 하장에 신차 왕에 자친구 쉬고지 말했어. 괜찮아. 좀 무슨다. 얘들 좋아 가리스. 내비 줄 리니언 바데 소소기 말했어. 내사기 내사기 줄 리니언 바데 그 소소기 다가 자친구 전에 소소기 lembar 해마도 소소기 자친구 lembar 해마도 이게 바로부터 집어라 레모도 하세. 리니언 바데 등이 용기사다. 레마도 레바 장지 나수 첨부 인하다 소소기 리니에데 소소기 손에 소소기 lembar 자친구 lembar 있어. 와. 대지지 멤버리 상에 내가다 걸어보잖아 조직 말이다 좋아서 가고 와 장기 멤버리 달라 안다 대지 소소나 수당하다 이 셀럽 멤버티 소소 왕게 멤버리 됐어 장기 배자 전부 리니엄 바디 배자 전부 10분 현장진이 선에 내 대례도 아마도 좋아 대례도 있다 주제 대대 순간 아 이나 좋아 지금 무엇아 대대상 좋아서 가고 있어 와
The meaning of this verse is, if I cling to this body, there is like a suffering abscess of a human form. So abscess is kind of sickness. Then that abscess is like a human form, and then that sickness causes suffering. So it's like a suffering abscess of a human form. So this sickness is so painful that, or is so painful that it cannot be touched. It cannot bear to be touched even slightly, and so forth. And I hold on to it with my eyes of intelligence, blinded by ignorance. I should think, since even a thorn can destroy it, with whom should I be angry when it is hurt? It is my own fault. So it's inappropriate for me to get angry only with the other party. So, and one of the cause of my suffering is this body. So this body, out of attachment, I cling to this body and regard this body as very precious out of attachment. So, and I regard this as mine. So previously we talked about I and mine, right? So we regard this body as mine, and then we regard this body as this body as a very precious. And then out of attachment and out of ignorance, then I regard so. Then when this body, when this body, when this body that cannot bear to be touched even a little, then otherwise then it will cause great suffering. So through thinking in this way, even a thorn can destroy it. Then when I think, who at whom should I get angry? Then we should understand that it is my own fault of having this body, or cling to this body. Sorry.
다 지와 남아 동아지 줄라 세바치 비테 니미 니마세 아주 스마도와 스마도 지와 남아 동아지 줄라 세바치 비 니미 반 시바 동이 문제지 동이 줄라 담베나 랑기 니비 내주가 되나 공도 지시 예세 예 주로가 진도와 아디마 되서 쉬어와.
Next outline is, it is inappropriate to get angry, since the drawback of clinging in my past lives is the cause of suffering. Under this outline is verse 45. He says, the childish do not wish to suffer and are greatly attached to its causes. Thus they are harmed by their own misdeeds. Why should they begrudge others?
다 렌드라 페 아저 측이는 뭐 수도 지원하는 거라 다 렌드도 뭐 수도 지원나 다 간다로와 수도 지원서 간다 이제 동아지 줄와 다 수도 지원 단 제부동아 중세장 되고 말이스 와 제부동아 중세장 되고 말때 단 제부동아지 줄 먹게와 다 소치와라서 와 소치라서 되는 먹게 되지 레디오 그와 소치 동아지 줄라 소치라서 되는 먹게 레사비 준세지 내가다 다랑게 이 준세지 다랑라 내가 집어대 내가 집어대 다랑게 나기 내비기 내가 지야게 저도 산에 된제부터 된다랑라 내가 주고 누사 예선을 하고 해서 와 예선을 하고 해서 저지 가다 얘네들 몸이 집어나지 문제비 간단 제부 동화상야 문제비 좀 먹이 디바 차치고 먹으러 와 예, 산에 간단 내가 집어대 내가 집어대 다데 코로나기 내가 집어이나 랑가지 레디기 파니 내부데 단다 수나 요군도 거 얘나 가르치는 초그레스 얘나 초이 되는도 라니 바시기 네바 저 사리도 내부데 해도 와서 람 바시기 상조 얘기 제부에도 와서 예선을 하고 해서 와 이 상황도 좋아가 가고 해서
The childish do not wish to suffer and are greatly attached to and crave the causes of suffering, such as killing. So the childish here also means those childish who are ignorant about cause and karmic cause and effect. So those ordinary beings or childish beings do not wish to suffer and are greatly attached to and crave the causes of suffering. So childish beings or ordinary beings, we do not wish to suffer, but out of ignorance, then we accumulate karma, we accumulate cause of suffering, such as killing and so forth. And then thus projected by their own misdeeds, they are harmed as a consequence. So why should they begrudge others? So the experience of being harmed is projected by my own negative karma that I accumulated in the past. So then, when I'm harmed, then why do I begrudge others? So through thinking in this way, then it is inappropriate to get angry at others because this is only my own past negative karma. Under the same outline, verse 46, it says, for example, just like the guardians of hell and the forest of sword leaves, so this is produced by my actions. At what should I be angry? For example, just as the inflictings of suffering upon me by the guardians of hell and the forest of sword leaves is not done purposely by others, and I do not get angry at them since they are produced by my actions. So since likewise the harm in this life is produced by my actions, and what should I be angry? Since the suffering is caused by only my misdeeds, henceforth I should make effort at abandoning the causes of suffering. So these hell guardians and hell called forests of sword leaves, and these are emanated by the force of my negative karma. So, and when I experience those sufferings, and they are the results of my past negative actions. So they are produced by my own actions. Then what should I be angry? So since the suffering is caused only by my misdeeds, so all these sufferings, even the sufferings in hell, is caused by my own misdeeds. So henceforth, at what should I be angry? So we should make effort at abandoning the causes of suffering. So these causes of suffering should be abandoned, and therefore there is no need to get angry at others. Next outline is, it is inappropriate to get angry since others are connected to the cause of suffering because of my own action. Under this outline is verse 47. It says, having been instigated by my own actions, those who cause me harm come into being. If due to this they should proceed to sentient beings, am I not destroying them?
내가 과는 기분이 뜻체를 달라 내가 싶어. 뜻 강사 바로 부터 좀 좋아해. 된 좋아해. 뜻 달라 내가 싶어. 뒤 강사한테 내가 뜻 신경 냐와. 누구래서. 냐와라. 내가 주나서. 던 주나서. 뜻 달라 강사한테 말아가는 것이 한게 세나. 집어넣어. 한게 세나. 배반하고. 그봐. 말아가 너도 뜻라바 제스스. 뜻라바 제스스. 그봐. 어디 나시 다 간다 랑기 랭이지 간다 동아가 줄라 자와레스 로 그러니까 줄라 자와선다 다 간다 이게나 초리 요문 우선 다 초가 가고 되더와
So this verse is also it also talks about one shouldn't get angry at others because of my own fault or because of my own action. So furthermore, having been instigated by my own past non-virtuous actions, other persons who cause me harm in this life come into being. I cry out to my mind. So I shout in my mind, or I cry out in my mind. So if due to this harm to me, this persons should proceed to sentient beings' hell. Am I not destroying these persons? I destroy them. So this verse also explains or indicates that I shouldn't get angry at others because of my own past negative actions.
다 같이 초보야 신지 되다 랑기 랭년바 되게 돼 인신지 내가 돼 랭년바 신지 받고 왔습니다 초나 이 다되다 다라 츠초고래마다 다 다들라 파초아 이 말이지 아시 초나 다들라 수들라 츠초 세와 모두 랭년바 지야 써야 돼 수수 그거는 지야스 와 다대선 거니 그거는 파초지 무슨 거와 좋아가
So if I should get angry, I should be angry at myself instead of getting angry at others because their actions of harming me is instigated by my past negative actions. So if I should get angry, I should get angry at myself.
다디 원라 다 토아니 신지로 머리반로와 토아니 신지로 머리반 토아 머리반에 던데다 나는 띵제니 스비다 다디 만동장 다라 띵네 대다는 유린 등이 나와동 다니 대는 내지라 얘다 다라 편도나 신지로도 지시 마루 신지 토아셰세 다디 쇼로가 니도와 너도 맞지 쉬어요.
Next outline is anger itself is erroneous and inappropriate. Under these outlines are two verses, 48 and 49. He says, by taking them as objects, I purify much negativity through patience, but in dependence upon me, they will proceed to hell suffering for a long time. So since I'm causing harm to them and they are benefiting me, why unruly mind do you become angry erroneously?
다디 로도 다시에 가서 되다는 다비 제비기 미디지 와 제버지서 미디지 다 제버고게 다비 디바 먼저 뉴라 디바 먼저 좀 달라티니 그 가서 되다는 유진 등한지 냐완도한지 다는 다텔라 메시이나 얘가 달라 핀도지나 그 핀도지나 추하고 신지로의 지식 머리를 센치 추하시고 가와리스 누구도 추하시고 가와리스
So moreover, by taking these persons as objects of observations of patience, I purify much negativity through cultivating patience. But in dependence upon me, these persons will proceed to hell, where suffering will last for a long time. So since I'm causing harm to these enemies and they are benefiting me, why, unruly mind, do you erroneously cultivate anger at what causes benefit and become angry? You should be joyful instead.
다들 세번 누르와 다들 원하는 인다 다 신랑나 편도지도 못 대바 bomba세 같이 담보지와 신랑나 편도지 못 대바 bomba데라 아 오늘 신지 디진시비 다저 냐완도 주로시나 가데 달라 삼바이 윤디여나 냐문도세 이치니도와 어디마시와.
So this commentary is clear enough, so I will not explain further. So next outline is abandoning the incorrectness with regard to others benefiting me. And in relation to this outline, under this outline, there is an opinion. So in the commentary, it says, with others' negativities acting as a condition, even I will go to hell. And under this, in relation to this opinion, is first two lines of verse 50. It says, if I have the excellent quality of thought, I will not go to hell. So in response, if I have patience that is the excellent quality thinking this benefits me, then I will not go to hell, and I will I will not go to hell, and I will purify my negativities. So so the opinion is I will become the conditions of others' negativities. So therefore, I will go to hell. So even I will go to hell. So in response to this opinion, then it says, if I have patience, or if I cultivate patience, that is the excellent quality, thinking this person has benefited me, then I will not go to hell, and I will purify my negativities. Next outline is abandoning the incorrectness with regard to me harming others. And under this outline, there is an objection. So since the other party is exhausting the results of my negativity and benefiting me, he too will not go to hell. And in relation to this objection is next two lines of verse 50. It says, if I'm protecting myself, how will they accrue merit here? So the objections here is, since other party is exhausting the results of my negativity and benefiting me, he too will not go to hell. So this is the other party's objection, right? So in response to this objection, then we say that if I'm protecting myself from negativity through cultivating patience towards the harmer, how will those persons accrue merit here? For without creating virtuous actions, they cause only harm. So if I'm protecting myself from negativities through cultivating patience towards the harmers, then those harmers they will not be able to accrue merit here. So, and however, the persons when the other party is exhausting the results of my negativity and benefiting me through harming me. So the person is harming me, right? Then we think that, or the other party is exhausting the results of my negative karma. The other party is helping me, is benefiting me, so he will not go to hell. So in response to these objections is without creating virtuous actions, they cause only harm. So because when other parties harms my body, they do not have the motivations of, oh, I'm benefiting this person. I'm helping him to exhausting the results of his negativity. So there's no such motivations of helping me to exhaust negative karma. So and his harming me is out of anger. So out of anger, the other party harms me. So with these motivations, this person will only create negative karma and they will not create any virtuous actions. So through creating non-virtuous actions, how could they not go to hell? So if the other party really had the motivations that wanted to benefit or wanted to help me, then the actions will be totally different. There is a much difference in terms of the motivations, even though the actions is exactly the same, such as humming. And however, if the motivations is out of anger, one is out of anger, another one is out of helping the person or benefiting the persons, then there is a much difference. However, in this context, is talking about the person had no motivations to benefit oneself.
Nepa Shibade, that I give the Nepa Shibade Susu Pisabone, Gitala Chimbosa, the Lower. And Nepa Shibade Pindojina, the language of Panelechina, due to Asi, at the top of the way, that about the money. I read it when the little nation, Yada Sumba Majula, Dana Java and Yumbanju, Dina got to Shibanjus. What that did, Chulovachin, that did little Rama.
Next outline is refuting the wrong establishment with regard to what brings benefit. Under this outline, there is another opinion. So if the harmers cause benefit by harming me, then it is appropriate also for me to return the harm. So in relation to previous objection, is saying that, or since the other party is exhausting the results of my negativity and benefiting me. So then it links to this opinion that if the harmer is caused benefit by harming me, then it is appropriate also for me to return the harm. Then in relation to this opinion is verse 51. It says, nevertheless, should I return the harm, it will not protect them either. By doing so, my conduct will deteriorate, and hence this fortitude will be destroyed.
예정이 취시다. 자마다 민지 공부 좀만 딱 줘봐. 잠보 좀만 양로 해서 딱 줘봐. 딱 예정 취시다. 시자 라마시 최자 라마지 대자 라마데 상디자 라 참는 유세디로 와. 시시시当真나 파 시시 마다바지. 저 공로 되지나 파 공로 마디바지. 스소소가 내다 당선나 파 내다 당 레마디바지. 그 소소가 저 상디자 소소가 저 죄로서 받들이 원에 배쳐 죄인들이어서 뭐라 나 그런 같이 먹어봐지. Mongobati, a Gijong Chishua, a Gijong Chishi, but nearly Travaina, the Gijong Chishi Nanobata, the Gijasham, but the Miji Chanju Silas of the Mignani, Chishi to some of my Yanduada. That was a Gatuji Cho, so what they say. 세바타비 까토네 디바타비 시다타비 디바메스 라고라 시다타비 디바메 세바타비 까토메사 까토 초 세바디
가리 디바메.
시다타비 디바메라고라 시다타비 디바메스
시당 답베.
시다타보
시당답보.
시다타비 디바메스 시다타비 디바메스 시다타비 디바메 간다 세바타비 까토메스 라고라 나한테 까토 초도 주바 데마 시바다 녀는 뭐세 반내래 제방이다. 어디 된다지 너무 얘기도와.
So this opinion is, if the harmers cause benefit by harming me, then it's appropriate also for me to return the harm, and then it's inappropriate so because nevertheless, should I return the harm, it will not protect the harmers either. By doing so, my conduct of commitment to cultivate the 4 qualities of trainees in virtue, love and compassion will deteriorate, and hence even the supreme fortitude of patience will be destroyed. So if it's inappropriate to return harm, because if I return harm, it will not protect the harmers, and by doing so, my conduct, such as the conduct of 4 qualities of trainees in virtue. Another translation for this is 4 qualities of virtue practitioner. So 4 qualities of virtue practitioners are return scolding for scolding, return scolding with scolding, return anger with anger, return beating with beating, and exposing others' faults when they expose my own faults. When they expose my faults, I expose their own faults. So these are the 4 qualities of not exposing others' fault when they expose mine. So this is the 4 qualities of trainees in virtue or virtue practitioner. So not returning harm, not returning scolding with scolding, not returning anger with anger, not returning beating with beating, and not exposing others' faults when they expose mine. And yeah, so then, and love, so this conduct, the 4 qualities of virtue practitioner, and love, compassion, and bodhisattva will deteriorate if I return harm with harm, and hence even the supreme fortitude of patience will be destroyed as well. So then there is a saying that there is no negativity like anger, and there is no fortitude like patience. So therefore, if we return harm with harm, even this supreme fortitude of patience will be destroyed as well. Next outline is contempt, reproach, and the like do not harm my body. Under this outline is verse 52. It says, since my mind is not physical, in no way can anyone destroy it. Through it strongly adhering to my body is harmed by suffering.
전화서 받는데 조디 등에 대왕이로와 대왕이 딸이 이라 그래서 대왕이 떴어요. 근데 등에 내가 줘서 너한테 레그레스 레그레 레그레 이나 따지 야고 제반이 나서 따지 야고 제어데 대신게 동대에서 간디지 제반이나 시츠 보모와 동대에서 간디 제반이나로와 간디 제반이나 간다 리드라 데두게 소화게 요 말했어. 리드라 데두게 소화 요 말에 따지 야고 지나 리드 데두게 소화 매비 진짜 가르치나 리 뱀보레스 리 뱀보 가서 수 신도 나시레스 고 리코나 신도 나시 뱀보레스 수레스 콜라 소화 요 말이야. 그봐 리코로 소화게 요 말했어. 그러 뱀보 나시레스
류라의 초아요 말이지.
리코로 소화요 말이 리코로 뱀보레스 봐. 맞아. 따지당 가서 리지 심리 소화 그 시고 뭐라 리코로 뭐 마셔고 리코로 배 수레스 뱀보레스 그봐 수 뱀보레자 내가 소화 디도 가요 말했어. 소화 디도 요 말. 딘디스는 겨봐야 보지나 딴 네번 주고 뭐도 딘디기 리라 매자디 됐어요. 가야스. 세는 여보시 가이링 리스트 인디라서 지는 좋아 인디라서 맞는 세는 여보시 가야 다 아버지 제바이나 다치 아버지 제바이나 내 대나시 제바이나 내가자 여보 여 말에 내가 아주 좋아라 가도 그래세 나 된다 대시 상담을 좋아 그래서 시작전에 마상 가야 돼 간다 좋아 자 시작이 와서 수시와도 가서 수시와 지나 가서 배목 계시 뭐라 배목 주가 딱 가서 리더를 수차대로 와 차대 딱 가서 리히지 농자 소화디도 듣게서 지고 말와 그렇게 시고요. 이제 시바 있는 여러 와서 리지 시바 네 소화는 등에 놓아서 뒤에 소 여러 와. 근데 지단 가서 봐. 군도 가게 시고 뉴그룹 빼빼 뭐로 수로 와서 보다 소화 가야 돼서 인들이 가서 공부하다 소화 못 와서 까라 소화 못 와서 에너지 성방 뒤에 시고 와. 뭐 되게 시고. 다 뒤에 성방 더 좋아서 가게 해서 그런다.
So if I were to guide my mind, since my mind is not physical, then in no way can anything, harsh speech, weapons, and so forth, destroy it. Yeah. So through opinion, through conceptualization, strongly adhering to my body is harmed by suffering, whereby I get angry. In response to this opinion, since contempt, harsh speech, and unpleasant words directed at me by others do not cause even the slightest harm to my body, why mind do you become so angry? So here it says, if I were to guard my mind, then my mind is not physical. So our mind is not a physical thing, then in no way can anything, harsh speech, weapons, and so forth, destroy it. Then however, through my own conceptualization, through my own conceptual thoughts, strongly adhering to my body, then my body is harmed by suffering, then whereby I get angry. So this so the other party has such opinion. Then in response to this opinion, since contempt, harsh speech, and unpleasant words directed at me by others do not even cause slightest harm to my body, then why mind do you become so angry? So here we think that this body. So because it says that I should get angry because my body is harmed, right? I get angry because my body is harmed. Then through this conceptualization, strongly adhering to my body. So it links the body to the mind. So when the body is harmed, then I should get angry. Then my mind will be harmed as well. Then I should get angry. So then to respond to their opinion, then yeah. So then we have to analyze that. Does this do contempt, harsh speech, and unpleasant words harms our mind or not? So harms our body or not? Because they first think that, oh, my body is harmed, therefore my mind is harmed, therefore I get angry, right? So then we analyze, do these contempt, harsh speech harm my body or not? Then to analyze this, then we are not talking about the general explanations of body has the physical sensations of pleasant and unpleasant and so forth. Here, in order to stop the anger from arising, then we think, the way we analyze it is this body is a form. This body is a form, and it is a matter, and this matter is like a tree. It has no sensation. So even though in general we talk about the physical sensation, however, here in this particular context of stopping the anger from arising, then the way we analyze it is this body is a form and this body is a matter, and then this body has no feeling, has no pleasant and has no unpleasant feeling. So if the body do not experience this pleasant or unpleasant feeling, so how could you, mind, become so angry? So how could this harm done to you, mind? So through thinking in this way or through analyzing in this way, then it stops our anger from rising. Yeah, under the same outline, verse 53, it says, since contempt, harsh speech, and unpleasant words do not cause any harm to my body, why mind do you become so angry? So their opinion is I should get angry because this body that I strongly attach to is harm. Then in response to this opinion, then it says that since contempt, reproach, criticism, unpleasant words, do not harm my body, then why do you get angry? Next outline is inappropriateness of me getting angry with persons related to anger. Under this outline is verse 54. It says, if others disliking me will not devour me, either in this or in another life, why do I not want it? So if others disliking me will not harm and devour me, either in this or in another life. So even if others are disliking me, so their disliking me will not harm me or devour me in this or harm me in another life. So why do I not want it and instead act to establish the cause of meaningless suffering? So why do I not want it? Another way of saying this this. So why do I not happy about it and instead act to establish the cause of meaningless suffering? So therefore, it is inappropriate to get angry.
다들 원들다. 당와서 메시지 담보도 님바 위든 집이 대 바치셔 봐라 초 우리 바하세와 초 우리 님비 바치 집이셔 같은 데다 문제는 아주 진이와 어디 뭐지 쉬어요.
Next outline is it is inappropriate. It is inappropriate to get angry at a hindrance since gain disintegrates quickly. Under this outline is verse 50, first two lines of verse 55. He says, because it will hinder my gain, I do not want this.
다들 원들도 간다 님의 소지 와 님의 소지 때 런데 님비 바치셔 봐이나 그 같은 님바 대수고 어디 소리 가리는 다다 되면 내 문제 있잖아
Maybe
오드리도 문제 봐이나 그 다기 님반된 되시 디파는 템바니에서 원만되고다게 도바리 원만되고도 아무 데들와 님에서 하게 님비 바치시비셔 그 같은 데라 님바스 인데다 문제 라바이나 다 문제 라 되게 도바리 바이나세 달리는 원만되고도
So in relation to these first two lines, it talks about other parties' opinion. So it says, because contempt, reproach, and the like will hinder my gain, I do not want these three, contempt and so forth, and so forth. So contempt, reproach, and unpleasant words.
다들 레다 다비 님반 전도지 디파타는 템바 니에세 다들 렌틀레우도 다들 시니모 디그마 텐데 쉐이스와 다들 레드레도
In response to this opinion, his last two lines of verse 55, he says, I shall discard my gains here and my negativities will remain securely.
다들 간다랑게 관계 때도 초 다다게 님바 조지 때도 간다 바치시바 되이 된다로 바치시바 되이 된다 그 초고에나 관계 때도 좋아고기 다게 님바데 다게 님바 조지 때다 간다 첸들라 어느 거래 첸들라 니도 인지도 그래서 첸디야 니도 도로 그래서 그 좋았습니다 니도 도로 왔습니다 그 소속을 내가 군도 제바이나 님비 바치시바들라 다 군도 제바이나 그 군도 디바데 간다 해담다도 디바메 디바 차첸보데 그래서 좀 지라 님보 때마다 그 지라 니네데 제프 동안 나 타치바레스 타치바와 지라 템바니데 그래서 그래서 템바니네 코 가르치고스나 그 코가 나가도와 제비냐와라 마 친구야마도 니로라 마치야마도 이 야게요 말해서와
Gula tembanese nebi dade.
템바니스 나 좋아도 군도 디바 군도데 디바 차첸보시고 와 군도 사실 디바 차첸보레 다들 님보 때마다 수도 줄라 템바니 코메바 차도 말했어 코메바 차가 님바데 사야다 그냥 가리나 그 간다지라 그 뒤에 도는 거는 요즘에 차도 와
Temba.
님바 사야 님바 사야리 사야다 도로 그냥 나고 님바 라야치다 와 님바 라야들 치 바치 치바 이런 거로 그 바치나 데라 다 군도 제바이나 내가 군도 지나 다 군도기 디바데 다 갈래갈래 내가 참 말했어 무슨 님바 사야 그냥 가리나 갈래갈래 그 뒤에 도는 내가 차로 그랬어 때문이야 개요 말해서 맞아 사야치는 님마 가기 뒤에 도는 사마라가 차로 그러와 사마라가 차로 또 군도기 디바데 줄라 땡고 차대야 뭐 단다 사야 동안 나시 내가 차로 말했어 그 줄라 땡고 차나 가르치 그래서 거기 내가 찍 그래서 거기 내가 같이 그 줄라 땡고 되는 거라 님보 때마다 또 거기 내가 내려라 막 치는 그래서 내가 뭐 이제 막 치는 그래서 그 야고요 말했어 그 차보 대야 그래서 거기 님보 때마다 그 사야 동안 가서 님바 사야 이 뒤나시 갈래 내가 차로 말했어 그거
So the opinion is because it will hinder my gain. I do not want this, right? So in response to this opinion, then he says, I shall discard my gains here and my negativities will remain securely. So the meaning of these two lines is, I shall quickly discard my gains in these for whose purpose I have cultivated anger, and my negativities of anger will remain securely in my continuum. So I shall quickly discard my gains in these lives for whose purpose I've cultivated anger. So these gains, such as food, clothing, and etc., they disintegrate quickly. And however, for their purposes, I have cultivated anger. So because others hinders my gain, right? So then I get, and when they hinder my gains, then I get angry, right? So and these negativities of anger will remain securely in mind continuum. So it means that if I do not apply antidotes to these negativities, and these negativities of anger will remain securely in my continuum, that it means that it will not it will it will not slowly disintegrate. It will remain securely in my continuum. So if I do not apply antidotes to them, then it will remain securely in my continuum. And when it ripens, then I will experience suffering. So it's better not to accomplish gain. Anger is inappropriate.
Lobby never do Kabas. Lobby never do Kabadra. Dana Dini, she and Lotsu Yuri, Sermon. Dada Yuri Ninja, she do not Dini. I should know what you do. What you might share is it.
Next outline is refuting the accomplishments of wrong gain. Wrong gain. So under this outline is verse 56. It says, thus, it is better that I die today than live a long time through wrong livelihood. Even if I should live a long time, there will be the very sufferings of death.
How do you tell the Lobby never do Gawaderwa? Dana Kanda, Alonso Iowa. Alonso, Naji Shusarwa. Alonso, Lonso, Chibi, Lonso, Kanda, so we never. Chunzeja Marava Inazero, Lonso the Chip, remember Chunzeja Maravina, I mean, go on down the chin is Loso Radioa, the Loso and Jitua, Chitua, Sinaja, or can begin. Kada Mingo to the nearby the Lonso the Chunzeja Manduba, so Shiba in a Shiba in a Java Yomaris, that the Dibasa Homariswa, Shiba in a Java Yomaris, and that Lonso to pay Dibasa Chunzeja Maravina, Hina Java Yomaris. 다 간다 얘나 공로다 집이고네 내 로초다 얘나 공로다 집이고네 내 년바 두비 로초 내 년바와 다 얘나 공로지네 때 뭐고도네 또 로초 된지 년바 망보지 잡아이나 다 sembo되나 배도시다 요 말했어 와 sembo되바이나 가야 요 말했어 가야 말 고가서 다 로초 예 디파사기 죽장자 루디디나 다 sembo되나 아 배도 가야였어 와 간다 lonso 집이 여러와 lonso 집이 내가 뭐부터나 또 이름 못 대봐 lonso 집이 내가 이름 못 된다 이름 못 대봐이나 그 간다 탄치 있으나 그 간다 내년 받지마다 요 말했어 내년 받지 요 말했어 어디 메와 손자 그 간다 데리셔 이제 된다와 때 치지 두말아 만데 받다 lonso 집이 뭐뭐 디라바이나 그 치지마다 간다 맞아 집이 되네 다 만데 받지 두말 요게 일이랬어 다들 농촌 내비로와 농촌 진행방 말하나 때 간다 신한 제가요 뭐 동안 미세게 싸는 데스 아유 말해주고요 무슨 어디变내 시고에 디지 디빠지 아빠 디빠사게 세 토로시네 야브레세를 지가
디제이나
디지 아빠 디지페 디빠 신지 땅냐 세르나 아 리그 베체르 뭐 가지나 그 디빠 마사는 거와 제르고 가든 디바 뭐 사는 거와 그다지 비스티스니가 정보로와 당가서 지난 세 통신 너로 말와 이미시가 소도 자체 무심으로와 이나다 제르 뭐 디나 그 디바 시가 사는 거와 너다 딘디기 제가 이거와
So thus, it is better that I die today without gain than live a long time in dependence on wrong livelihood in which I acquire gain while getting angry at others. So it is better that I die today without gain. So means that it's better for me to die without acquiring gain through wrong livelihood than live a long time in dependence on wrong livelihood in which I acquire gain while getting angry at others. So regarding these five wrong livelihoods, so we have mentioned this before, such as pretensions, flattery, and so forth. So these 5 wrong livelihood are mentioned in Precious Garland as well, in a text called Precious Garland as well. So, and even if someone such as I should live a long time, even eventually all will be discarded and there will be no escape from the very sufferings of death. So, yeah. So if I do not acquire gain through wrong livelihood, then it is better for me to die without acquiring gain through wrong livelihood, because I will not accumulate negativities for the sake of gain, for the sake of those gain, and I will not regret it, and I will not create any negativities. So if instead I were to get angry at others, and if I engage in those wrong livelihood in order to acquire gain, such as pretension, such as lying others and so forth, then even if I live for a long time, there's nothing to be happy about, because I will be full of negativities, and living a long time will not do me any benefit. And so so if I acquire a lot of gain through wrong livelihood at the end of time, at the end of this life, which is at the time of death, then I will there's nothing left except negativities. So then there is a saying that if those who engage in always engage in negativities, then it's better to live a shorter life. So it is not like we wish them or we curse them to live a short life. It's just that if the longer they live, then since they always engage in negativities, then the longer they live, then they will create more negativities, and through in this manner, then it's better to live a shorter life.
Dipa salmo se tu na gas and jiting per tanga jina der laru marwa adin jiting per jiting per shebe wa dipa sa chimo sa se tu na gas wa no jiting per ma da jida ma de laru marwa mi mili le cha jiting kali le te che tu so de sang sa ni ta ya marwa pra pe dipa de pa ma yo ya ba malam jia da ma sa ya malam jia da se ru ba dia ti ma do wa te ma jiting per da wa sa.
And this is a conventional analogy. Is inappropriate for us to say or think in this way. So what we should do is we pray for this person who always engage in negativities to not engage in negativities, and then wish them to live a long life and not engage in negativities.
Change using the union, separate to Kanibas, or separate Nicola, the what in the showness, Teri, Chetu Nikaya, Chi in the city. But the Rogan was the Matish.
Yeah. So next outline is establishing that it is inappropriate to cling to gain through analogy. And under this outline is verse 57. He says, suppose someone should awaken from a dream in which he experienced 100 years of happiness, and suppose another should awaken from a dream in which he experienced just a short while of happiness. 57 and 58. Mm-hmm. And he says, for both of these people who have awakened that happiness will never return, similarly, whether my life has been long or short, at the time of death, it will be finished like that.
Pinga Kanzangashi Milana Pina Yizan Deva Yutundula Yizan the father Devani and the Nibachiwa. That in the Kanda Nisebana, Enika Kanda, Milanji Deva, yin rin tu yares yin rin tu chi da tembi yula yung secret ro yin rin tu chi da so so be tembi yula de yung secret de mo bale shi ya yanja de jese yo yo ma se ora tembi yudo chi ma da tembi yula de chi chung sa dewa nywa si de chung sa da chi ma to dewa ngwe da ne ge da dewa ywa ki yo ma ro kaya shiwa de dewa chi yo ma ro人家用什么米朗行的话，他的几米朗老家几米朗原则就在几米话，他真把了，真比有的用西巴的人家真把的他那个西巴的历史是吧？西巴的人呢，修养的啊，弄啊，修养给要嘛历史，他被典型了，他的别超了，别超了啊，他被典型了，他年把他记不过来，对了，他被真正是年把他们超了吧？他年把他记不过来，他才能不老家也把他对吧？年把是吧？老家也把他对吧？年把他。다 체통아 다 로지 나와지 자자 근데 대화님 봐 또 근데 대화님 봐 니가다 간다 치지나 다 준비 지가라 마 준비 예상치래 마도 내 간다 얘니까 간다로 와 이린도게 대화니까 양자 신원의 녀석이야 이거는 다들 요 말했어 어제 신원의 대화 니가 대화님 봐 대화데 양자 녀석 신원의 되게 요 말했어 매와 소자 다 논소다 지금 년발라 세바다 방금 세바 자리도 말해서 다 대다데 논소다 지금 년발 좋아 지금 논소다 지금 들린 년발라서 봐라 다 세바리도 말해마다 세바리 세바 제요 말다 신차 가버리겠어 다들 저 신바도 같이 신도 신차도
So this first verse indicates the example. So for example, suppose someone should awaken from a dream in which he dreamt of experiencing 100 years of happiness, and suppose another should awaken from a dream in which he dreamt of experiencing just a short while of happiness. For both of these people, at the time of having awakened, that happiness will never return. So even though one dreamt of experiencing happiness for 100 years, and another one dreamt of experiencing happiness only for a short while. So when both of them wake up, the happiness will never return. And the experience of happiness are just objects of memory. So similarly, whether I enjoy happiness in a long life, so whether I enjoy happiness in a long life or a short life, also another translation for this is whether I enjoy happiness for a long time or for a short time. Then at the time of death, so at the time of death, both will become merely objects of memory and be finished like that. So at the time of death, then this experience of happiness or enjoyments of happiness, whether it is for a long time or whether for a short lifetime, and both will ended up becoming objects of memory, and hence craving for gain is inappropriate. So craving for gain is inappropriate. So here we need to stop craving for gain, and especially those gain acquired through wrong livelihood.
다 딩지서 지 시바 들어와 다 시바데 다 년발에 세바 머리 붙인 다 년발에 제차지 머리 지지 들어와 머리 지지 년바 뭐 터지게 유리 디스 이제 좀 총비 초보 지hin도 데모라 같은 도세 어디래도 쇼로 지지만 된다 시고.
Next outline is the reason it is inappropriate to cling to gain. Under this outline is verse 59. It says, although I may acquire abundant gain and enjoy happiness for a long time, I shall go forth naked and empty-handed, just like having been robbed.
nimba yoba ina ya tili duwa diwa la nungchi ba ina ya de kanda chi ji se de kanda de japa da kuma ge choba na shi ro ba kuma zu choba na shi su su de nimba shin da pa ja su su de na ji da ba du lo kan yu le ke me ba je mo be ro ge de ji ja la nimba shin da de kwa pa jo 제모노가 니고라바 동바 동자신의 로그레마도 수술 난지 뒤지도 수술을 리더 마다와 그에다요 이거 말면 이거 말했어요. 그래서 그래서 와도 님바 치주 이제 요마 미스라지나 다데 그래서 마다와 여러와 따파리시 여러와 어디 왔습니다. 어다들이 수술을 개인이나 이제 저다 제모 아바 동바 마라마자 로그 누가 자고 했어. 그렇게 이거 말했어요. 그때 리소사 어디다 간다. 아주 괜찮다. 세바지에 말해서 들어오는
So furthermore, although I may acquire abundant gain, so abundant gain that it will not exhaust in 100 years, it will not exhaust in 1,000 years. So even if I acquire such abundant gain and enjoy happiness for a long time, at the time of death, I must go forth naked since I will be without clothing. So I must go forth naked and will be empty-handed since I will be without wealth, just as though I had been robbed. So just as though I had been robbed by thieves and robbers, then at the time of death, I have to go naked. I cannot bring anything with me, so let alone clothing. So I cannot bring anything with me and will be empty-handed. So therefore, it is inappropriate to cling to gain. So this also indicates that we must contend with whatever we have. Otherwise, if we without any contentment and we acquired abundant gain, at the time of death, we still have to go forth naked and empty-handed. Next outline is refuting the appropriateness of accomplishing gain. And under this outline is first two lines of verse 60. It says, opinion, if I were to live due to gain, then I shall exhaust negativities and increase merit. So this is an opinion, right? It says, if I were to live due to gain, then I shall exhaust negativities and increase merit. So he says, if I were to live for a long time due to gain, so as mentioned just now, so if I accomplish those gains, then I will be able to live for a long time, and then during which I shall accomplish gain for the sake of exhausting negativities through the four powers and increasing merit. So this is still an opinion. And then the answer will come later after these two lines. In response to this opinion, then the next two lines and also the verse 61, it says, response, if I were to get angry on account of gain, would not my merit be consumed and negativities created? If my very life were to degenerate for the sake of that, then what will be the use of the life of who commits only negativities?
geza chong lo yes da kasi mo tsu mo shi ba to geza chong ka ba to sa be geza ka ba ja sa be geza da geza to sama chong lo yes wa de de ge ne ba de da de kong ro je wa ina da ka ba to sa ya geza da ma ka ba to sa ya geza chong sa de su ge kong ro je sa yu de shang se ji bu ro shang se yin ba ji bu ro wa wa ji bu da ka ba ja la so ba de de ge dipa ro senum sedo aiza dipa toba tindigi dipa sawa sonza de tindigi dipa sanade ta gupa kanga tendo de da sembo diala gupa kariyo des tini nyeba dune roa nyeba dune kungo chine dipa sashika tindigi roa de sembo dena de kariyo des roa semba tini dage nyambi chedo dena dipa mba hisheba sonza de sembo dina archabore esta gupa mundu ase sembo dina gupa mundu ase 와, 어디 들리기 내내 들어와. 다 간다. 네버도 된다도 들으셔. 네버 수두네. 다 네버 두알아페 콘도다 나자다 차도 들리기 찐지 때 간다 네버 뭐지 두. 다 네버 두네. 때 들리기 sembo 대바이나. 다 디바 차치 뭐지 사는 거두스. 때 디바 차치 뭐지 사는 신도시. 때 단도 sembo 들리 되네. 때 네버 두 대바이나. 때 그거 뭐야? sembo 되네 그거 뭐야? 맞아 sembo 대바라 뭐가 요거지 저거 해서와 그거 쳔데다 치마니가라 맞아 대화 용어지 샤와지 주나 그 sembo 가다 되나다 야와 해서 다다 와 그 sembo 대바라 그거 되죠 말해서 다들 sembo 대바라 맞아 그거 받아 등이는 이게 sembo 대야라 다 간다 탑쪽을 해서 맞아 무슨 말을 딱 대야도와 이게 배 sembo 대베가라 샤왕에 맞장자 지바이나 탑쪽을 싶어 해서 와 tab주고 쉬시. 하면서 단지 주주 상의 물리 상보 새끼들 신이와 다 들리지라 물리 들리지라 다 샤왕에 뭐 주도 있나 또 tab주고 쉬는 해서 거다.
So response. So again, their opinions is if I live for a long time due to this gain, then I can again and again accomplish. Then I can again and again exhaust my negativities through confessions of by means of four opinion powers, and also engage in actions that increases merit. So this is their opinion. Then in response to this opinion is, if I were to get angry on account of gain, so for the sake of accomplishing those gain, if I were to get angry, so will not my merit accumulated over many eons be consumed and negativities created? So regarding this we have mentioned before, right? So 100 eons will be burned by the fire of anger, thousands eons of merit will be burned by the fire of anger, and etc. And in order for this to happen, the merit that I have accumulated for 1,000 eons to be burned by the fire of anger, then the object of anger must be a bodhisattva. So will not my merit accumulated over many eons be consumed and negativities created? So if that is so, and if my very life, that is, if I myself were to degenerate for the sake of that purpose, then what would be the use of the life of one who commits only negativities? It would be purposeless. So for this, if I get angry, if pride arises, if jealousy arises for the sake of accomplishing gain, then what is the use of me living a long life? And during which I accumulate many negativities. So there is no purpose of me to live a long time if I only commit negativities. If I only commit negativities. So if I live a long time and I only accumulate negativities, then this is a very pitiful. In other, literally, it means that it is very not skilled in means. So then it is also translated as is very pitiful, because we have learned that how precious and how meaningful this precious human body with 8 leisures and 10 endowments are. 10 endowments is. Then if I only spend my precious life in committing negativities, and this is very pitiful. In other words, it is very not skilled in means. So there is no purpose if I live a long time but only commit negativities.
我的到了，他讲到俺说宣布地别个了，他等到都宣布地别个了，他讲到那个能出忙不就修完呢？这他就不修不认识了，我看到了吧？宣布地别个了，那个能出忙不修完呢，他就不认识。这讲到宣布地别个了，他讲到他能出其他马修啊，他说说看到人家错一点了，他那个结果忙不有的，那个结果呢，他讲到是这个能出学到马修的团的吧？내가 님비쇼라 다시다 만도 토니 초ala kada alega chegore alega chemgo sijiga warwa da disu sogo chegore stela sogo chegore sla warwa nago choa jena choa jedang yore swa da choa chegore de choa jedang zu yawo shimbi toni da nonji luja ma shu toni choa ji de baina da mo chen de de la de ba da cheshima la de la de mi chegore se da de da ko da je zuo de zuri swa
So if I live a long time and create many virtuous actions, then there is another saying. However, if I live a long time but only commit negativities or commit many negativities, then it would be purposeless for me to live a long life. So, and in summary, if I live a long time, yeah, yeah. So if I live a long time and if I create many faults or create many mistakes or create many negativities, then it will be very pitiful. And since we need to engage in many negativities, then we should be very careful with our actions, not to create any faults or not to create any mistakes. Since we need to work and we need to engage in activities in order to earn a living, right? So therefore, we have to be careful with our actions, not to create too many mistakes or not to create too many faults. So if we live a life in this way, then it makes this life and future lives meaningful.
어디 대셔로 어디 저는 가서 계속 뭐 다 계속 늘는 주된 거 좀. 자자고 좀经济도 사실 바로 때문에 부채를 내가 쇼크 좀 하고 바로 내가 빨리 잡아 대전은 수바로 또 저거에 되게 좀 단자리 좀 모두 좀 얘도 또 아마도 대지 시기 체는 데서는 체고 그래서 디바도 산지 고마 얘도 또 리치 되게 많이 지나 단자리 또 시대요. 어디 메시지 아마나 그러게 하고 주는 메시지 내가 리니 또 같이 좀 저래 무슨 좋아요 무슨 그런 거라서 내가 저다 찾자 이게 반대도 돼 대치를 하는 거지 제로지.
We stop here. We conclude with dedication. We dedicate these roots of virtue to the flourishing of Buddha Dharma and to the excellent happiness of all sentient beings. We also dedicate these roots of virtue to all upholders of Buddha's teaching, mainly His Holiness the Dalai Lama, to live eons long, to enjoy good health, excellent health, and may all their enlightened activities and holy wishes be accomplished instantaneously and spread in all directions. We also dedicate these roots of virtue to our beloved teacher, Kyoshin Lama Zopa Rinpoche. May Rinpoche's holy wishes be accomplished instantaneously without any obstacle. We also dedicate these roots of virtue to world peace. May excellent happiness prevail throughout the world. May wars, conflicts, disaster, natural disaster, pandemic, diseases be pacified immediately. We also dedicate these roots of virtue, especially to those sentient beings who pass away due to wars, conflicts, and etc. May all their negativities accumulated since beginningless time be pacified immediately and quickly achieve the state of enlightenment. And we also dedicate these roots of virtues specifically to our very kind staff, Amala, whose father conditions is not stable. So we also dedicate these roots of virtue to Amala's father.
다소 진행
사베 개와 개된 당조와 근라 강배 당체바 지진 로상 나바이 天边尼波利多塞杰说，讲究生教仁波切，巴拉吉九吉杰巴扬巴梅巴扬，公约公多培瓦说，讲别包约吉当前巴当古多上波德昂的心的，公约结束大罗切，给我对他当杰拉多我，东米达瓦仁波切嘛杰巴拉吉九吉扬巴梅巴扬，公约公多培瓦说，日米达瓦仁波切嘛杰巴拉吉九吉杰巴扬巴梅巴扬，公约公多培瓦说，东尼尼杰松多具备了，吉切色色看见这对人强了对我真正感受了，那说现对人多说，今天看的本的马六吧，看的永远上面一心路，看的出面真正感受了，那说对些人多说，他每天把这些年让做多上叫我也是给把这让这心里加油嘛对不对？人把对别给了所有所做别土地人不接适当对别人心别完了，那样秘书对别国家就出面这种了嘛，把对别的马的就会过去不给人点到马有多爱，天哪，记住真把这边莫得不喜欢心的一类帮，最最感受起拉当，感谢那地图给老婆接了没得别样路上非中给上对接别多女些说，有情感的平等的话马六就为你接是往真正叫做一下被世界报道等有情。
Oh yeah, thank you.
Thank you.